Welcome to Self-Love Through Conscious Living with me, Reverend Lee Wolak. I was already talking, but I forgot to hit the go live button. Sorry, gang. It doesn't matter how much someone else loves you. It doesn't matter how many people are in your life. It doesn't matter what's going on, because you will feel none of that at the very core of who you are until you accept and love yourself. That's why one of my mottos is really simply this: everything begins with self-love. Everything begins with self-acceptance, because that's what love is. Love is self-acceptance. So when you take the time and you look at yourself, do you accept yourself as you are? Or do you judge the heck out of yourself? When you look in the mirror after coming out of the shower, are you critical of what you see? Or are you accepting this is who you are in the moment? When you look at your finances, do you accept this is where you are? Or do you judge yourself, oh, I should be more than this? When you're if you're in a relationship, are you critical of that relationship? Are you critical of who you are in that relationship? Or do you accept this is where the relationship is? You see, we can't begin to further create in our lives until we've accepted where we are and who we are. You see, that's the breaking. That's the beginning point of all creation. So when you can accept yourself as you are, where you are, regardless of the aspect of life, you have put a stake in life and says, this is where I begin to further create the most magnificent person I can be. And no matter where I'm at on that journey, I'm going to accept myself on that journey. It's okay to look and see where you are, but don't go comparing yourself against anyone else. Think about it this way. At Agape, we believe in an infinite power, an infinite presence. If you want, call it God, but it's not a guy. It's not a super being. It's infinite. So the infinite, being all that there is, can never compare. Comparison is not a possibility because there's nothing outside of it. So there is no judgment. And so it lives in perfect love, perfect acceptance, because it's all it is. It's just accepting what it is because that's all it is. Now, break it down. Let's go into you, me. We are microcosms of that. We were microcosms of that, created to be unique. So we're already perfect. And we've been given a body, we've been given a personality to further explore, experience, and be in this life. We were brought here with creative power, and our role is to create. Yeah, our role is to create. Great, Anita. I love that. You can all see Anita says, I've learned to accept the condition of my marriage before I was able to begin to make changes. And Anita, where are you making changes? Let's talk about that. So you've learned to accept the conditions of your marriage. Now, where are you making the changes? Where are the changes being made? I'm going to wait for you to answer before I go on with that. I want this to be a conversation. Anyone else out there got something they want to put in? Talk about, put it in the conversation. Let's make this you and I and the world having a conversation, because we all learn from each other. Do you get that? Every time we discuss our lives, we learn from each other. Corey says, I started a new job on Monday, and here 3 days later, I have an abundance of work and I am grateful. Anita says, changes in my attitude, my responses, And that's a great answer, Anita, because the only thing you can change is Anita. You can't change your partner. So don't be wasting your time. Be the best you. And if the partner's a vibrational match, they'll change because your vibration changes. And if they're a vibrational match, their vibration will start to move with you. And maybe your vibrations were so off that by you changing, your vibrations become more similar. Who knows? I don't know. There's no right answer to any of this because it's life. It's just life. Here's the thing. The more you're grateful, the more you attract. Lydia says, I want to end a relationship, and I did, Lee, and I'm grateful that I did because that was a change for me, a change for myself, a change for my growth. I'm very proud of you, Lydia, because the only relationship that truly matters is the one that you create with yourself and the one you create with the infinite. Everything else, every other relationship, the purpose of it is for you to develop a greater relationship with yourself and your connection to the infinite. You get that, gang? This is really new. I've never said it this way before. But every relationship my relationship with my wife, the only reason I'm in my relationship is so that I love me more. I be more authentically me. And while being more authentically me, I connect with the infinite at a deeper and greater level. So all of you, because we have a relationship here in the ethers on social media, your purpose in my life is for me to love myself more. Here's a key thing. You're watching me. You're listening to me right now. The only purpose I have in your life is I'm asking questions, giving you ideas so that you can love yourself more and have a greater relationship with the infinite. And because we're all part of the infinite, because we have to be, because there's only one infinite, we realize that the person we're talking to is a part of us. Yeah. Corey, JJ, Lydia, Anita, you're all part of me and I'm part of you because we're all tapped in. We're all connected to the infinite. Therefore, a part of me is a part of you and vice versa. Ending a relationship is not the end of anything. It's a new beginning. It's a new beginning to a deeper self-love and the ability to bring that new, created, self-chosen you into the world. Anita, that's a huge one. Because I've been working on that one for years. If you can't see, gang, Anita says, I've stopped always needing to have the last word. How many of you out there, no matter what the discussion is, what the relationship is, how many of you have this thing? I've got to say it last. I've got to have the last word here. Yep. It's fascinating. That's our ego. That's our ego wanting to be in control, isn't it? It's always doing that. Ego says, I'm the best. I've got to have the last word. I'm right. Do you know what the best last word is sometimes when someone says something? Complete and pure silence. It's not the spoken word, but it's a word that says, I don't need to comment on this. Or I realize that no comment is necessary because no comment I make will be heard or understood in this time. And it's not that you're repressing your voice. It's that your voice is being expressed through silence. Silence can be a very, very powerful communicator. The key is, as humans, is how do we find the balance between silence and spoken word? And that is a gift. That is what I truly seek most of the time. Whether I'm dealing with myself, sometimes it's better for me to not stop talking to myself and be silent, or I'm dealing with my wife, my sons, my granddaughter, my friends, my community. What was that song? Back in the 60s by the Tremolos. Silence is golden, giving away my age. That's okay. Age is just a number. Nilda says, whenever I see some people with bad behaviors, which means actions toward others, I wonder about their awareness with the infinite. They don't seem to be a microcosm of the divine. It's hard to love them. Well, let me come on you, Nilda. You're in complete judgment because you've said, when I see some people with bad behaviors, who determines whether they're bad? Who left you queen? That you get to judge what behavior is right, what behavior is wrong. I simply observe and say, isn't it interesting that they're choosing to go that way? I wonder what's in their past that's driving that. I know that they're going to get what's right for them in that. And with your comment about most people don't see that they're a microcosm of the divine, we don't. Most of the time, everyone is not aware of our divine oneness. Most of the time, we have glimpses of it. We have minutes of it. We think we are because we understand it intellectually, but understanding that connection intellectually is not the same thing as experiencing it. Not the same thing. Nachama says, someone pointed out to me today that we spell words. The words we say are truly spells, so I try to choose them wisely and not use wasteful words. Wow, what a beautiful statement. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. So you put a spell on someone. Someone puts a spell on you. What have they done? They spoke in words with an intent, and you've heard them that way. Think about it this way. Think about you pick up the phone and it's a telemarketer. And the telemarketer says, you know, you're probably one of the rudest people I've ever met. You hear that? You just hang up. Your mother calls and says, you know, you were rude the other day. And it sends you into a tizzy. Oh my God, I hurt my mother's feelings. Same words. Different person. What caused you to feel that way? Oh, it was your perception. You have put someone on a pedestal and made them more important in your life than you. Self-love will never put someone on a pedestal and make them more important than you. If you're putting someone on a pedestal, you're not self-loving. You're subordinating yourself to someone, or you're putting someone down. That's not good either. We're all equal, but we're also all unique. That's why we can love everyone. We just accept their uniqueness. Key word here, we don't have to like them. If you want to go really into depth in that, go get my new book, The Power in You by Reverend Lee Wolak. You can get it on Amazon. It's been out about 2.5 weeks now. I go into this thing on love. I go into so many things. I go into 16 powers that you have within you. Each chapter, I believe, is a gem that will assist you in you creating your life. Well, gang, it's been great talking to you. I love doing this. This is my joy. Oh, I love that, Nachama. He says, Nachama says, I've started reading your book. I'm enjoying it with some classical music. I love that. Chapter 2 today. Read a chapter a day. Don't read too much. Let the information sink in, especially chapter 1 and chapter 2. They're the cornerstones of what the rest of the book is built on. If you get chapter 1 and 2. Oh, and by the way, if you'll go on agapespiritualcenter.com, Go to calendar. I'm doing a workshop on my book on, I think, second week of February, maybe. It's on a Saturday, but you can sign up for it. It's a free one. So know that. So with that in mind, go create your magnificent day. No, I accept you like you are. I love you the way you are. Can you do the same? Until next time, aloha.